Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
It's time for another daily dose of dismal Disney. We're going to talk about Kathleen Kennedy and how her reputation has been completely destroyed.
As if it wasn't already bad before.
Yeah, South Park put her on the radar of normies. I think most people, the situation with Kathleen Kennedy, most people don't even know who the hell Kathleen Kennedy is.
Star Wars sucks, we don't know why.
We don't know why Star Wars sucks.
Disney did it.
Disney did it. Now, everybody knows, oh, there's this woman named Kathleen Kennedy, and she just wants to put a chick in it, make it gay, and make it lame.
Well, that was the badder version.
Oh,
but I did make sure they said that she used the Panderverse stone, overused it,
yes.
Opening a portal, bringing in the KK Cartman into put a chick in it, make it gay, make it lame.
Yes. So now the general public is always going to associate Kathleen Kennedy with South Park.
Put a chick in it, make it gay, make it lame. And then they're thinking about all the stuff about Lucasfilm lately, and they're like,
oh my God, all clicks.
Willow? Yes.
Yeah.
Indiana
Oh my God, guys.
Oh my God, it's
the
true.
The Panderstone. So this is not going well. Now, there are rumors. We don't know for sure what's going on. I'm hearing some rumbling. I haven't seen any concrete.
We don't know for sure.
Concrete evidence yet, but there are rumors and rumbling that she is not happy. I can totally imagine her not being happy. This is the same woman that apparently threw a hissy fit and made YouTube get rid of the downvote button.
Well, that was because that Oscars video. There was the Oscars. They were going to give her an award, and they had a video about her, and it was downvoted and ratioed so hard they turned the downvote buttons off. And then that was around the time I think that they started they took the downvotes away.
Yeah.
Because people were downvoting Star Wars stuff like crazy, and they just, oh look, YouTube's changing it. The downvote button no longer works.
Yeah, and that was after her.
Kathy, protect Disney.
Protect Disney, because it'd be a real shame if we stopped pimping our Disney Plus shows.
I'm sure Disney gave them a lot of money in advertising or something.
I'm sure they did. So we're going to talk about this. You cannot come back from being the topic of a South Park episode. You will forever be a meme. She will forever be a meme.
You said on Twitter, you're like, remember what happened to Harry and what's her name?
Well, okay.
That was funny.
Not long after Harry and what's-her-name had their South Park episode, they started having deals yanked because they.
Well,
they were difficult.
I think that's just I don't know if that's necessarily because of South Park.
I don't think it's because of South Park, but I think it didn't paint a very good picture, public image of them, and.
Well, they just paint like Kathleen Kennedy. They did it to themselves. It's all it does is point out what everybody already knows, or people are afraid to say. It just points it out. That's all it did.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about this because this might actually be. I mean, weirdly enough, this might actually be the catalyst that finally gets her gone.
The thing is, they're all focused on her, not even focusing on Bob Iger. And the joke is that they made it out like, well, she was actually a victim of herself because it was it was the bad one. And then when she said, we need to make new content, and Bob Iger's like, sure, wink, wink. And they're like, Bob Iger's why the stock's down and everything else. And they're like, he's getting to go out of this, scot-free, and everybody's just blaming everything on Kathleen Kennedy. They even had her making Bambi bad. But that has nothing to do with Kathleen the Walt Disney Pictures. That's the other guy we talked about in the video that's doing that. That's not even her.
So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, guys. You get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Go out to shopclownfish.com /Shadowbinders Volume 3. Volume 1 and 2 will also be available. This is going to ship next summer. We're doing pre-orders. Think of it as like Kickstarter on our own site. Not using Indiegogo anymore for reasons.
We might do a Kickstarter.
We might do Kickstarter.
We probably will do that.
We are completely done with Indiegogo. They did not make us happy with our last campaign. But there you go, guys. Go out to shopclownfish.com. Link in the description. So yeah, let's talk about this. I just made a trip to Ollie's.
Literally just came home just like not that long ago.
Ollie's this morning, and they have a fresh batch of Disney shit to sell.
What's the Wookiee thing with glasses?
Oh, that's Solo Chewbacca.
Oh, I like Chewbacca, but I don't like him with glasses.
He jiggles. He jiggles and giggles.
Let me guess. You push the button.
I think you pushed. I didn't push the button, but the box said he jiggles. I'm surprised because every time there's a
button, you're like, ooh, push.
He's been. Can confirm. That's the giggle button. Push the giggle button. Please push the giggle button. No, he's been sitting there since like what, 2018, 2019?
I don't know.
The movie came out, so the batteries are probably dead at this point.
There's got some Thor from Love and Thunder there. I can't imagine why.
I mean, my God.
There's Hammer from Love and Thunder. There's an action Love and Thunder. Shang-Chi.
Look at all the Black Panther. Shuri, you must be joking. Why would nobody pick up this Black Panther? Look at all those Iron Hearts.
You can groan. That's fine.
No, it's like it's affecting the classic stuff too. That's what's so weird about. Like, it's not just the new stuff that's being destroyed. It's people aren't even buying the classic toys either. I mean, I was shocked. There were like Black Series, there are retro figures here. They're at 1980s prices.
Yeah,
because that's what they cost.
Inflation Buster, guys.
Inflation Buster. You can buy a Kenner style figure at 1983 prices. There you go, because that's what they cost at KB's in 1983. Because I remember, because I had to mow lawns to get my Star Wars guys. But they have Black Series original trilogy figures. Nobody's buying them. Nobody's buying any of this stuff, and some of the stuff has been sitting here since
a while.
2017.
I know. I've seen some of the stuff that's been there for quite a while.
More Marvel crap nobody wants. They had Rey. They had a whole bunch of Reys.
Still?
They still have the Rey, but at least she's got friends now. Grand Inquisitor can keep her company. What's her face?
There's no Reva?
No, there's no Revas. I didn't look through them, but I did not see Reva. Maybe she was in a different wave. But these guys are actually pretty cool. The Death Troopers are pretty cool. Now, these would have flown off the shelves a few years ago. Well, no, about 10 years ago. About 15 years ago. So here's what's so weird about that. Like, before Disney took a hold of Star Wars, even Clone Wars stuff, even like not everybody watched the Clone Wars cartoon, but you never, ever saw Star Wars stuff on clearance until Disney took it over. Never.
I think you did sometimes with like the ones that talked. I think after.
Oh, the voice chip ones.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. The Phantom Menace figures, because they overproduced them, they had a bunch.
Yeah, they had Phantom Menace. There was way too many.
But for the most part, Hasbro figured out here's about what the audience is. But even during Clone Wars, which again, not everybody watched, not everybody was familiar with these characters, those toys were not languishing on the shelf forever. Those toys actually did sell, but they were cool. It was, clone troopers and vehicles and droids and aliens and Jedi and cool stuff. Not like, Laura Dern with pink hair.
It's weird that the Mandalorian figure there is $4.99, but the other Mandalorian figures are $3.99.
Because that one's cool.
And that's the cool upcharge.
That's the cool upcharge.
Anyway, we're going to get back to the point.
Let's get back to the point. The point being is that every headline.
I know. So these are the same people who are harassing YouTubers for being mean and misogynistic and, racist and all that stuff. Because every time we see with Star Wars would have a new movie come out or show come out, they kept seeing the headlines were immediately, oh, misogynist and racist hate it. I was speaking of Reva when they did Obi-Wan. Reva was there, and they talked about Reva and stuff like that. They turned around and were like, it's because they hate her because she's a black woman. It's like, no, they hate the character because one, they're like, she's annoying, and two, they didn't understand why Obi-Wan was about Leia and not Luke, and had nothing to do with Reva. But then they immediately went to, hurry up, use the shield where you deflect on everybody else and say they're haters because they don't like, they're bigots, to shut them up. And that's what they keep doing. And so for years, these media was like running with these narratives. The whole article is dedicated to the hateful, toxic man babies and Star Wars fans. And now it's going the opposite direction because now it's safe to go the opposite direction.
Except this one. Scandal at South Park. Cruel mockery of Kathleen Kennedy and Disney's diversity efforts. Gina Carano explodes.
Gina Carano just called out what they did to her. That's all she did.
So this is the thing. This was mostly a tempest in a teapot. Nerds knew what was up. They knew what was up with the Kathleen Kennedy thing. Nerds that were big into Star Wars blamed her for...
I would blame Lucasfilm Story Group as well.
Yeah, Lucasfilm Story Group. And of course she has a boss. She answers to somebody else, right? She's got the Emperor. If she's Vader, she had the Emperor. But still, it was quarantined to basically nerd culture, nerd YouTube, comic shops, websites. They would talk about Kathleen Kennedy. The fact that South Park did this, they put her on the radar, in this situation on the radar, in a way that no YouTuber ever possibly could have.
No.
Which means that the general public now, regardless of what their intentions are, regardless of the quick little 2 or 3 lines that Cartman gives at the end to try to make it look like it's both sides, she is, in the public's eye, she is the face of Disney's failure.
Well, she overused the Panderverse in the first place to make the KK Cartman come in.
Right.
To make it even worse. So she still caused it. And this is, because and again, they had to make sure in that last couple lines, well, it's because, the way people sending me emails calling me the C word, and he's like, oh, but he jokingly, he did he was the one, it was because it's a vocal minority. Again, if it's a vocal minority, that would not explain the massive decline in Star Wars box offices, in Disney Plus viewership, in toy sales, and all of that. It has to be across the board globally to have that kind of impact on it. You can no longer argue it's just, it's a few man-baby trolls. Because that's obviously not the case. A few man-baby trolls couldn't do the damage. The stuff would not be languishing on the shelves if it was just a vocal minority. Willow and that wouldn't have been pulled off if it was just a vocal minority and everybody else loved it. Disney stocks wouldn't be in the shitter if it was a vocal minority. Everybody was fine with the price increases. They were fine with the shitty movies they're putting out.
So they brought these figures out several months, I think, before The Force Awakens came out, because I remember them hitting Toys R Us when Toys R Us was a thing. So this like next year might be Rey's 10th anniversary. Congratulations, Rey.
But then they're bringing her back for another movie.
Yeah, I know,
so
right?
let's double down on the stupidity. It's like,
Okay, maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. Maybe this is a marketing ploy. Maybe this is Disney like, we've got a bunch of unsold Rey action figures. If we had another movie and we didn't make any more toys, maybe we could sell all the Rey figures that are sitting out there.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's like, my God.
Just man babies, toxic, horrible people who hate Rey.
This is the general public rejecting Disney Star Wars.
Yeah. And the thing is, what sucky thing was about like some of the characters, they could have been good characters. Rey could have been a good character.
Yeah, she could have
been. She started out as okay. And then you had to go, Mary Sue shit on it and then ruined it. You had to go, if you had just given people Han, Luke, and Leia together again and then passed the torch in a correct way, people would have been okay with it. But you didn't.
No.
And then The Last Jedi, don't even get me started. I don't know what the hell that shit show was.
That was the one. People gave them the benefit of the doubt.
I was going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
And then that was the one that destroyed everything. And then they won. This is the thing. They keep shooting themselves in the foot. Then they won people back with The Mandalorian. And they were selling the hell out of Baby Yoda stuff. And then they blew that one up too. Mm-hmm. They can't help but fail. It's like they get a good idea or they get a spark. A good idea.
An idea.
I've been always good stuff cheap. They get a good idea and then they can't help but blow themselves up. They shoot themselves in the foot.
They can't help but blow, and that just about sums it up.
They can't help but suck, because they put a chick in it. They make her gay and they make her lame.
Sorry, I was channeling Spaceballs.
Oh, gone from suck to blow.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna suck.
Well, if you keep doing that, I'm gonna have to press the giggle button. Just. Anyway, so this is coming from Bounding in the Comics. Now, this analyst says South Park should have targeted Kevin Feige.
Well, I'm not saying they shouldn't have. They could have gone, why? Because he's a dude. They should have brought Kevin Feige in too and mocked him too. I agree.
But okay, so Kathleen Kennedy
deserves it as well.
Kathleen Kennedy pretty much failed right out of the gate. The Star Wars movies made money. The sequels originally they made money.
As of late, Kevin Feige is failing miserably.
I was going to say, he had more time because he had all these successful billion-dollar movies under his belt. A lot of them
were in play, before, there was plans ahead, and there was a 10-year plan that was in play when Disney bought it.
Yeah.
So it was kind of already laid out.
So this is, okay, so it was coming from Midnight's Edge. They said that they should have gone after Kevin Feige, too.
Well, I don't disagree with him completely.
I don't disagree either.
I think they should have called Feige out as well.
So actually I think Marvel's fall has been further because Marvel was actually ahead of Star Wars. Marvel became the most successful franchise of all time, and then they've just completely...
Then the MCU happened?
Completely destroyed it.
This is coming from a woman, even though they'll say it's only men.
Because they put a chick in it. They made her gay and they made her lame. Over and over and over and over again.
They just replaced all the core characters. Now, while I understand characters age out and you're going to have to replace them at some point in time, I get that. But you basically just changed them all. But it wasn't just enough to change them to somebody else. They all had to be diversified in some way. Yeah. And then when the comics were out first and they didn't do well, and you could have just cut it off there and it's not working. No, you had to triple, quadruple down, and now it's not working on a larger scale.
Look at this. 47,000 likes on Gina Carano's roasting of her former boss. This again, to get back to the initial point, like
47,000 bigots.
There are so many more real Star Wars fans out there. You have no idea.
It's a vocal minority, people.
Vocal minority that's not buying the shit.
It's their old accounts.
It's their old accounts not buying, actively not buying. I bet somebody planted all these figures. I bet it was
always ever. It's called Disney.
I know, right? Oh my God.
They just sold them cheap to get rid of the shit and get out of the warehouses.
Pretty much.
So the toy companies were like, here, you can buy this stuff for $1 so you can sell it for $3.
Well, that's how they get their stuff. So what's going on, as I understand it, how Ollie's works is if like Walmart and Target won't take this stuff anymore.
Or a store's closing.
Or a store's closing, then all the crap sitting in the warehouse, Ollie's buys it up.
They buy up comics like crazy. And it's funny because we've told you before in other videos how a lot of times comic companies will keep their own books and buy them themselves to make the numbers appear larger, to be like a bestseller for both comics and books. And then a bunch of these books end up at Ollie's.
There you go, guys.
Coincidence? I think not.
So, yeah, I think that South Park is going to do damage to Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm and Disney in ways that YouTubers can only fantasize about.
But Kathleen Kennedy blames YouTubers and hates them.
Yes.
Like, apparently she was obsessing about YouTubers.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what the fallout is. Again, we have an earnings call next week. That's going to be really interesting.
It is.
And there's not much going on in the pipeline with Lucasfilm because everything's pretty much in shambles. Willow's gone off of Disney Plus completely. The Star Wars shows have been declining show after show.
It's bad.
We don't know. There are talks of movies, but they always announce
the
movies and
like
cancel.
the first movie's supposed to be 2025, but who knows now because of the strikes. They'll probably use that as an excuse to push it further back.
Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, well, Kathy's going to part ways because, she's getting older. And since, we're not going to be able to start filming until like 2026, and the movie won't come out until like 2030, now's a good time for her to exit.
I thought if Indiana Jones did bad, she was supposed to be gone. And Indiana Jones did bad, but she's still there.
Kathleen Kennedy has been fired.
According to the internet.
Yes, at least. Kathleen Kennedy apparently has this ironclad contract that you can't fire her, even though you can literally fire anybody at any company if there's enough.
You can't fire her.
Can't fire her.
Right.
Yeah. They fired Chapek and he was the CEO.
I know, but they can't fire her for whatever reason. So
she might get mad. She might have a hissy fit.
I don't care.
Have that. We can't have a woman have a hissy fit.
She has lots of hissy fits.
We're gonna wrap this up.
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.